Record.
Hey man, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing?
Hey man, what's up? What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
Any Given Sin, Victor Richie. Uh, Give me a little bit of background on the band when it first started and how it progressed.
Yeah, sure. So I joined about 3.5 years ago, something like that. Maybe more like 4 years ago. The original singer had left the band, and I played with Mike. We had opened for them a couple times. We already had Any Given Sin established, and then about 3.5 years ago, I joined on. Me and Mike started writing a little bit. We were thinking about starting a whole new project, but he had already had some of the groundwork, and infrastructure and merch and stuff. So we just kind of kept that name and rolled with all new material.
Right. Wow. In 2015, there was an EP, Forgiven. Did you sing on that?
I did not. That was the original singer.
Right. But you sung on Still Sinking, the new single.
That's correct.
Right. Now, your label, Mascot Records, can you tell me anything about them?
So yeah, we signed with Mascot about a year ago. So we're getting our first album out with them. Just shot this video, released this single with them. They picked up our last single, The Way I Say Goodbye, right as we were signing, and kind of ran with that a little bit, helped us out with that one. We also released a Christmas song with them back in December that we wrote, which is funny and fun. But yeah, so far so good. So we're just waiting to get this first album out. We're hoping Q1 2023. Yeah.
Right. How much is it completed?
It is basically completed. We're just kind of waiting more now on mastering and some cover art and things like that, and just getting the launch ready.
Do you think it'll come out on vinyl also?
We'd like to put it on vinyl. Yeah, we absolutely would. We might first let's start selling that like on our website and probably on our tours at our merch booth to start off.
Let me thank you and congratulate you for serving in our country.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I read a lot about that, and it's an honor to talk to you. Tell me how you got into music.
So I started playing probably when I was like 5 years old. My dad was a big bluegrass musician.
Right.
Played a lot of different instruments and stuff. And so he taught me the bass when I was like 5 or 6. And then I got a guitar when I was like a teenager. I also played the trap kit in the band, like in the high school jazz band and stuff.
Right.
So it just kind of progressed from there. And then when I got to high school, we actually started playing in like a rock band, like a little cover band.
Right.
And it kind of just, it's been nonstop since. But.
Do you remember the first recording you ever listened to in high school or before that?
Well, I grew up on a lot of bluegrass since my dad played that.
Right.
But there was we listened to a lot of, it'd be like 80s stuff. It'd be like Ozzy, it'd be like Black Sabbath. It'd be like, pretty much any hair band would be around. I'd be hearing, you know what I mean? Right. That's probably where my first influences rock came from, was like the 80s kind of hair metal and metal.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Tell me a little bit about the Riverfest Festival.
Riverfest was extremely hot. It was crazy hot that day. I think the heat index was like 113 when we played. So wow. It was ridiculous. But they just moved it, I know, from Wisconsin. I can't remember the town it was in, but they moved it to Quincy, Illinois. So it was the first run of it down there. Right. I think they were hoping a few more people would have came out. There's probably 1,000 people at this. But we played with 10 Years and Bad Flower, and they were both awesome. Really awesome.
So tell me about the upcoming show, Northwoods Rock Rally.
Yeah, so that's going to be this Saturday, actually. We're playing with Nonpoint. We're direct support for them. They're headlining that night. So we're looking forward to that. Wisconsin's always fun. Played Rockfest, a couple other things up there, and it's usually good rowdy crowds and whatnot. So we'll enjoy it.
How do they treat you like backstage? Do they feed you well?
Yeah. So far, most of the festivals have like catered food, and they have some air conditioned, restrooms and stuff. So you get a little bit, pampered, but it's still, it's still like when it's 113 degrees outside, it's like nothing keeps up. So it's still everybody's hot, but it's all good.
Wow, wow. What's the feeling like giving an autograph?
Well, it's pretty cool. I never thought I'd be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, you never actually think, oh yeah, people are gonna want my autograph or something. So yeah, it's cool every time. I'm really bad at keeping it consistent. So there's ever like some historian trying to check it out. I'm
Right.
never gonna be able to figure that out.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's pretty interesting.
Oh, cool. Tell me about the other members of the band.
So guitarist, we have Mike Connor. He kind of founded the band, owns the brand, all that sort of thing. We have Mikey Showalter, who's our drummer, and Rich Stevenson, who's a bass player. Rich is kind of a computer engineer by trade. Mikey has done like electrical work and stuff like that in the past. You know, Mike was he worked in a nuclear power plant. Like, so we've all had some pretty interesting, you know, jobs leading up to music, you know, beforehand. So, yeah.
Cool. Is there any goals, you know, the band would like to reach?
Oh yeah, I mean, we'd love to have the top 10 radio single. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
We definitely, I don't know if it's a goal, but it was a goal to get a first album out, you know, signed. We're really trying to push to Europe and stuff, so it'd be awesome to do a European tour.
Right.
All of us would really like to do that. Just see how it goes over there. Nothing else to be experienced, you know.
What countries would you like to visit, you know, playing?
Yeah, so in the Navy, I got to spend a lot of time in like South Pacific and Japan and stuff like that. I didn't get to do much Europe, so I definitely want to check out Europe. Check out the cheesy tourist spots as much as like, you know, the back holes and the back roads, and like to get around a little bit.
How much support did your family give you when you told them you're going to go into music?
I mean, nobody was unsupportive.
Right.
It's tough to be totally supportive and also know how difficult it is to like do this
right
at the same time. Like, so everybody's realistically supportive. You know what I mean? I haven't had anybody kind of tell me no, do it. Everybody knows this is kind of what I love, and that's probably where I belong. So.
Right. So, what would you say is the pros going into music and the cons?
Pros and cons. Well, pros, you get to see a lot of places. You get to be up on stage, you know, a lot, as much as you want, really, which is awesome. You get to make great music and see where it goes. Good friends. Cons, like it's rough going, especially right now coming out of the pandemic. There's, you know, you have diesel fuels like 3 times what it was a few years ago. You have a lot of logistical things that are now making things less lucrative when you go out and tour, go out and do things. So it's just kind of a balancing act with that. But
right. Is it difficult actually going out on the road? Do you got a bus, or how do you get from venue to venue?
Yeah, we've got a small bus. We built out bunks and table and couch and things like that. So we try to stay out of hotels unless it's like 90 degrees outside. So we don't have a generator on our particular bus. So we're just, you know, try to stay at truck stops, things like that, you know, a lot of times, just to try to keep the expenses down. And it's still comfortable. It's real comfortable. No issues. But yeah, it's like really, really hard if you just get really, really expensive if you're not doing things, you know, the best you can.
Right. Yeah. Wow. If you had a chance to go out with, you know, a super group or whoever, who would you like to tour with?
Oh man, I mean, there's so many people, but like I would love to go. Miles Kennedy is a huge influence on me, so I would love to go like on an Alter Bridge tour or something like that. You know, and, maybe try to pick his brain a little bit, and you know, get my own autograph and whatever.
Yeah, I think they're touring too, you know, so
they are. Yeah.
So that's a good possibility. Is there any state in particular that you did tour that they treated you really well?
Yeah, there's been a few states. I mean, a lot of the Midwest is really, really great. The crowds are great. The Machine Shop is one of my favorite places out there in Clinton, Michigan. They do treat you really great. The staff are great. The place is clean. There's always toilet paper. You know what I mean? Like it's the little things sometimes. But No, it's just a really great atmosphere. They treat you really well, no matter who you are. So that's kudos to them.
Tell me a little bit about the recording of the new album. Can you give me any background information or any information at all before it's released?
Yeah, it was the whole thing at this point, except for one song, which is our very first single, Dynamite. It's all produced by Chris Dawson at Phonic Studios. And also we have a little co-write we've done with also with Jimmy Beatty, who was with Dawson in Seasons After. And then I've done me and Mike have done a co-write with Blair Daly and Zach Malloy out of Nashville. So we have like some other influences coming in with some of the other songs we've been writing. I can tell you those sorts of things. I don't know if I want to put out track names and things, but we are playing a couple of the new songs in our sets at these festivals. So you can check out some new stuff if you come see us live in the next few months. So.
Cool. Is there anything like in the world that you could eliminate? What would that be?
That could eliminate traveling. If I could just instantly show up at a venue with the gear set up, like that's what I would eliminate.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
I think that
we'd make $1 million every night.
I think that too, because I live in New Jersey and the traffic's terrible. I wish my car could just go up and take off. You know, it's crazy stuff like that. You know, so is there anything I missed that you'd like to talk about?
So we talked about the single. Yeah, our single's out. You can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, or Amazon, all the things. Definitely check out our social media. Give it a like, give it a follow. Just look up Any Given Sin. You'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all of those. Our schedule's out there. And then Any Given Sin band.com. We have our merch line, so you can check that out. There's also these exclusive Sinner shirts, which are for our fan group only. This is the Any Given Sinner fan group. So those are on all platforms. If you join it, contribute a little bit within the group, and then you can order one of these if you would like.
That's cool. You know, would you like to say anything to the fans out there before we end?
Thank you. As always, thank you for showing up in the 113-degree weather and buying our merch and buying the tickets and going through it with us. We appreciate it always.
Thanks a lot for the chat, man.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.